Okay, here we go. Today we're gonna be doing a couple of things. One is the main focus of today is going over jQuery, what it is, a little bit of JavaScript and jQuery together. Get a little action in there, feel comfortable with it. Before we go on though, let's get a little bit of review. You guys remember what divs are? Dave, what's a div?
Um, it's it's a tag that sectionalize
That's
the
right.
web page.
That's right. Yeah. So it helps you divide your web page into kind of logical areas, right? Or just in areas in general, right? So it's like it.
Yes.
So you got different containers, and then you can treat those containers in however you want. You could style them differently, hide them, show them, put an overlay over them to hide, or like people can click stuff on it, or just freeze their UI, etc., etc. So the perfect example is: have you guys ever been to a website and it says like, "Hey, do this before you can see this," and you cannot click anywhere on the screen, and they kind of block you the whole thing, right?
Very good at getting around that.
Oh yeah, yeah, but
Yes.
yeah, just F12 and just hide it, or just shift it left or right. But yeah, all it is just it's a div that is getting blocked by something else. So all you need to do is just, hey, change the style, the CSS of that div, and then hey, you can get in there. But yeah, yeah, yeah. The beginning, before I knew, I was like, hey man, that is weird. So yeah, yeah, you could just press F12 and just get around it. Just figure it out right there, or just delete the whole thing. Just delete, delete.
Some ad blockers let you put in a little filter button, and you just have to click on the offending piece of code, and it just
You just go.
remembers it for you.
So nice. But yeah, normally all you have to do is just press F12, then do this, and then just either basically just take out any CSS or just shift it to the left, or some kind of, there's tons of ways to get rid of it. But yes, so good, good, good. Okay, a little bit of do you guys remember what get and post are, and how HTTP? Remember, this is important, and you have to drill this into yourself. So it's important that we repeat it and we go over it, because they're going to ask you this, and you have to know it. You have to know it. Okay, so Dan, what's HTTP?
Hypertext transfer protocol. Yeah.
Yeah, but what
That's
is it?
basically the language we use to serve web pages to people and in computers.
All right, yeah. So it is the main communication method we use in the internet, right?
Yep.
That's pretty much it right there. All right, what's a get?
I'm sorry, what was that?
What is a get?
A get. That's how we information URL. Uh, yes, no, yeah, it says links.
I'm sorry, what? Can you repeat that? You're fading out a little
Breaking
bit.
up because you've been breaking up for me too.
That's weird. Hmm. All right.
I can check my network in a moment. We've had some problems. Yeah, basically it's to receive information sometimes through the URL or in clickable links.
All right.
It's
Oh, all right.
not very secure.
That's
Not
right.
normally anyway.
Okay. All right. All right. Lower. Yeah. Okay. No problem, man.
I
Now, what is
actually have a question for you about that.
Sure.
So HTTP, but what about HTTPS? Is that
Well,
is it a
that is
separate
a
thing?
different thing. Yes, that is a
Okay.
totally different thing. That happens kind of in the background with all sorts of security, encryption, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, yeah, we could address HTTPS another time. But what I mean low security is that you could see what we type, like
Right.
index or
It's all
ID
in the
equals
URL.
35, or all that stuff. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's mainly what I mean by low security, that you could see most of the text. I mean, if you encrypt anything and all you see is a bunch of characters or numbers, then it is encrypted nonetheless. You could see the characters and numbers, but overall, I can read the characters as numbers, but I don't know what they are because they're encrypted. So it's kind of like a separate thing. You know what I mean? Like it's yeah, it's a separate issue. But yeah, but what I mean mainly, what we want to talk about and what we mainly want to address is that you could see the actual text on the URL and anything that people type up here. That's what I mean. Is that cool? All right. Yeah, but we'll get into the HTTPS a little bit later if you guys want, which I think is pretty good. Did I answer your question at all? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, Dave. What's a post?
A post.
Yes.
Let's see. Post for writing data, sending information via forms, sending collection of data to a server, action that processes it, and it returns a page or information that the user requested.
That's right. A page of info.
Information sent in the
Yep.
background, like let's say social security number or password, and it spits out a page.
Okay. A page or something like a page. Yeah, it returns
Yeah,
something. It could be a page, it could be a file, anything pretty much that you could send through the internet. Could
or
be
your
a
bank account.
yeah, yeah. It could be a movie, or it could pretty much be anything. But yes. So no, that's good. Okay. What is the main well, what's one difference between a post and a get?
Get is limited to 2000 plus characters max for URL, while for post is not, it's near unlimited, but not.
Yeah, yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot of stuff. Like a lot of freaking stuff. All right, all right. I dig it. I dig it. Okay, so you guys remember, and is are they important? Hmm.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Are they important?
That's right. Yeah. Are they important?
Uh,
Of course, they're important because they are the main two ways that we get information across the internet these days. That is why. Remember, you got to keep repeating. This is your mantra. It has to be natural. It has to be has to be part of you. Okay.
is one of the pre-internet ways that we got information sent out? Blanking right now.
The what? Very, very low. Pre-internet ways? You mean like the phone, or like?
Nah, I mean on the computer. But yeah.
Mhm.
Oh well. That's a thought I'm gonna take too long on.
Yeah, like the bots and stuff. All right. I mean, we'll get there. Well, I mean, it's been a while for like what? DARPA, I think, or 70s. All right. I mean, we'll get on it. Okay. So continuing. Yep. I mean, we'll get there. Okay. So jQuery. Um, Most important, I hold you guys accountable and responsible to go over to here, either Three Schools, or there is another nice website that says, I think it's called learnjquery.com or something like that. They have a really nice course. I think it is just in jQuery itself. Let's see. They probably have some kind of sweet boot camp or something. One of my coworkers was telling me about it, but it's fine. I mean, we're gonna go over what you need to know to do the do, and then after that and before that, um, and in between, it's important for you to get for you to be aware of the resources and use them. Okay. because I'm gonna go over some of these. I'm not gonna go over all of them, and some of them go, I think, too in depth, and we don't need a lot of this stuff. Like I don't use most of this stuff. Like seriously. Make sure though you do the examples, you do some quizzes, get a certificate, get some certificate of it over there. But overall, I'm going to show you what in the real world, what you're going to be using most of the time. Okay, but again, don't sleep on this. Okay, so JavaScript. JavaScript is very important, as we talked about before. Is the language we use to manipulate web pages, the DOM, and and you can do some pretty cool stuff using JavaScript. We have gone over it before, I think in one of the earlier modules. But now we're moving on to jQuery, which is a library that makes using JavaScript easier. Also, this is only up to an extent, up to a point, right? To an extent. We are going to be using JavaScript, but we're going to be using jQuery for certain tasks, because if you try to do it through JavaScript, it's a fucking pain in the ass. And that rhymed too. You like that? That's right. Yes. So we're going to be using JavaScript and jQuery. Okay, so let us go back to our page here. Okay, have you done any updates? Should I get latest or just keep what we have now? Actually, I'll just keep what we have now. I'll update.
You can get latest, but it's not going to matter too much.
All right. I'll just keep it for now. I think that way we're good, and I remember what we have here. As you may remember from the last class, I think I need to upload a few of the videos as well. I think I'm about 3 videos behind, maybe 4, from uploading.
Yeah, I think this will be number 4.
Jeez, yeah. So I need to get in there. I need to get in there. Okay, so this is our website, and I think we're practicing in dance roster or the normal roster here. Oh wow, we killed all the characters. Okay. So let me give you guys a refresher. This is a page here, and dance roster. So we have taken the liberty of creating some divs, and as you can see, this div occupies this section here, which is the roster page. Okay. I'm gonna F12, and I'm gonna see, is there a div over here? Okay, there is. This is the div that has the roster in it. Right here. Okay. There's another div called create character here, right? And then there's another div that holds the buttons that we're messing around with. And then we have another section over here that holds our JavaScript. You do that, of course, in between script tags. Okay. So I have added these buttons here. One is a pop-up. Well, one says pop. So let's take a look at the buttons. These are the sections here. Right here. These are the buttons. Okay, the first button, it's just a button that I have attached a function to the onClick event. And the function is called pop-up. So what it says, like, hey, onClick, call this function. And the function is this. So what does this function do? It's just alert. You just push the button. So let's see. So I'm going to push it over here. Let's say flip. There you go. You just push the button. Okay, then I have another button here that says hide. And I'm going to show it to you in code. This is that button here. I have attached to it an onClick event, a function. to then click event, and in it, I did some weird code that says hide. So when I hit that button and it hide, what am I trying to hide? What's the name of the div or whatever ID I'm giving it?
Roster.
Roster, correct? So roster is this bad boy here. I mean, we will get to it soon, why it picks this, but this is why it is right here. Okay, so now,
I mean,
what?
when we wrote that in, we're just calling on the ID that we're given to do it, right?
Yeah, pretty much, yes. That's exactly what it is. So roster. So this one so we agree that this is roster over here, right? This section here.
Yep.
Okay, so if I hit hide, oh, there you go. It hides the roster. And if I hit show, I have attached that button to a function that says show. And blip, there you go. So in a way, that when you're on a web page and you see something that hides and expands or something, this is what's happening. They're using JavaScript or jQuery to hide or hide or expand or show that section. It's like magic, right? It's like, ooh, right here. So it's pretty nice. It's pretty neat. So now let's get into the nitty gritty, and let's create Bruce Leroy again. Let's get into the nitty. Maybe a little gritty, right? Like we said. And oh, I love that. I love speed so quickly here. And let's start with actual jQuery.
Oh, did we delete the whole roster?
I think so, yeah. Somebody's coming in and deleting our dudes.
That's so weird.
They're good.
Al-
Okay.
Also, Caesar, I cleaned up on my end. I shouldn't have any traffic going on, but I'm still having a hard time hearing you pretty frequently.
Oh, okay. Should I speak louder or like pump myself up
No,
or
it's,
something?
it's the connection. It's going in and out.
Oh, you gotta put a little bit on the download, my friend. Stop the downloads.
I
All
got
the,
nothing going on
all
right
the
now.
wares.
It's Discord.
All the wares, my friend. Let's see. I guess Almighty would be a paladin, I guess. Almighty. Oh, okay, here we go. Okay. But can you hear me somewhat? Or, I think that it used to help when I used to do this. Watch. Stop sharing the screen. Does that help at all? Or not really?
For the moment, you sound good.
Okay. Yeah, I will do that every few minutes or like 10 minutes or so. Let me know when it starts to degrade because I think that gives it a little notch.
It actually broke just after I said that.
Yeah, damn it. All right. By the way, this guy here is a bitch. We're supposed to be playing or trying this game out together, but he's being a bitch and playing here by himself.
What is that? Diversity training? What?
The Divinity Original Sin Part 2 is like Baldur's Gate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But yeah, we got God in the special Steam special. Okay, so here we go, jQuery. Number one thing you need to know when dealing with jQuery. Okay, this is called a selector. Okay, so when you hear the word selector, what does that mean to you? What does it bring to mind? What comes to mind when you hear that?
Selector, select
Yeah,
element to manipulate.
Exact. Oh, goddamn! You're like you're ahead. You're advanced. That's exactly what it is. Yes. Well, so when you think of the word selector, you're selecting something. You're messing around with some kind of option or choice, something that you target, right? So exactly. So the way that selectors work in jQuery, well, first of all, a selector is something that you aiming at, that you're trying to target, or that you're trying to manipulate. So, are you guys with that? Yes. Okay.
Are?
Was that? Yeah. So, the way a selector works in jQuery is, first of all, you get the dollar sign. Okay, the dollar sign means, hey, I am doing something with jQuery. Okay, what does this dollar sign mean?
I'm doing something with jQuery.
Okay, that's exactly what that means. Let's see, jQuery selector. Well, jQuery keyword. Okay, that means I'm doing some shit with jQuery. Let's do this. Okay, so now that means, hey, I'm gonna be dealing with some jQuery shit right here. So the parenthesis means whatever's in here is gonna be the selector. That means what I want to target, what I want to mess around with, what is it that I want to play with. Okay, let's say I have a div with the ID roster. Okay, I mean currently I have a div with an ID roster. All right. So the way I target that is I say, now pay attention because this is very important. I give it the name of the ID. Gotta watch out with these weird quotes though. Yeah, this is just for learning purposes. So let's give it the name of the ID or just the name of whatever it is, right? Okay.
Wait, so we do include the quotes?
Where? Yeah, the quotes go in there.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm. I'm just no. I meant that sometimes the Word doc quotes are different than the actual quotes. So sometimes you're gonna,
Oh,
yeah, and I've had problems with that sometimes, and it almost broke my mind.
copy pasting my.
Yes. Same thing with semicolons. Got to be careful where you get them from. There might be some weird alphabet or something, different character set. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, quotes is fine. So now, so this is the name of the thing that you want to target, right? So there are two different types of selector. Okay. Now, the number sign or pound sign uses the ID. Uses targets the ID property of a tag. Okay, so blip. Oh, by the way, if you do this, it's not going to target anything. Well, sort of. Yeah. For now, for what we're learning, it won't work. Okay? You got to say, hey, what are you targeting? Are you targeting the ID? Bep. Then do that. So that means you're targeting something with the ID roster. So in this case, would this selector match our div?
Yes.
It would, right? Yes. And by the way, that selects everything that meets that criteria. Yes. So all IDs, anything with the ID roster, will get selected or chosen as a target of whatever you're doing. Okay. Normally, though, on a web page, you're only allowed to have IDs are unique or should be unique. Okay. Now say it with me. IDs should be unique on an HTML page. It is very rare that you have two. I mean, there are a couple of exceptions, which probably ended up because of bad design or something. But normally they're unique. All right, sorry. Okay, so jQuery $ keyword. All right, and the next one is the dot, which uses targets the class property of a tag. Oh yeah. So if
Kinda how
you
we've been using them.
was that, I'm sorry.
Is it kind of like how we've been using them, writing in Visual Studio, except we just don't
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me.
write out the whole path. We just the class.
No. Sorry, this is CSS class. Sorry, this is something completely different.
Okay.
It is a good thing that you brought it up. But yes, this is the CSS or the styling class that is associated with that tag. I mean, with whatever you want to, well, whatever you want to choose, whatever you want to target. Okay, so if I wanted to target this guy, would the dot work? Like if I change this? Oh, this is a dot, by the way. Sorry, this is a dot. So dot, would that work?
Nope.
Nope. What would that target?
Their target. The dot should target a CSS class.
Yeah. Well, anything with the name, with the class that name roster. Yes, correct. Let me give you let me give you a good example. That way we get, because you guys, we haven't really messed around with classes much, so I know you guys don't have really like a concrete example.
Except for that button.
Oh yeah, we probably have. I'm gonna make something here. Okay, so I'm gonna add this example here, and then I'm gonna add this example here. This is gonna be the dot. Remember, this is slow and steady, my friend. Slow and steady. It's all about the understanding. Okay, so I'm gonna create this table here, and you know what? I'm gonna give this. Oh wow, I have a lot of built-in classes already. Look at that. I have a lot of CSS classes that are out there. I have no clue what this is, but I'm gonna give it to it. I'm gonna give it the alert class. Okay, I could just make up any word, by the way. Let's just say my class. It doesn't even have to exist. Of course, when you use it, you want this to be defined somewhere, right? Yep. We haven't gone over classes yet, which we will soon in CSS. Maybe today, who knows? But yeah, so all it is just a class that styles this table here. I guess I should have. Yeah, we'll go over classes in this classes as well in this session. Okay, so yeah, class, my class. Okay, so remember where we have all these buttons here? Let's create another button. And I want actually, let's create two buttons. Let's see. One, it's show class. Sorry. And the other one is hide class. Oh, I did it back. Yeah, actually, just keep show class. Great. Show class. This one is going to be hide class. Let's keep it consistent, because that is how we win. Value, hide class, yeah. Show class. Also, this is good for us. It's good starting material as well for you, so no worries. I'm just gonna copy these, and I'm gonna add it here. I'm gonna add the word class, hide class, show class here, and I have the correct names right now. Actually, it's hide class. That makes sense there. All right, right here. Okay, so I'm gonna, instead of this, what should I have in here if I'm using the class to get a hold of that element? All right, Dan? Dan?
Hello.
Yeah. What can I use? I want to
I'm sorry, I
target.
don't understand.
I want to target something my class with uh, anything that has my class. What can I use?
Want to use the
Well, let's say I want to target. Where are we over here? I want to target this because it has my class in it. It has the class my class. I think I should have explained classes before. I mean, not class, just CSS classes, but or just CSS class. All right. Let's see. Yeah. So
we're doing dot my class.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty straightforward. Yeah. Just dot my class. Okay. And to show is the same thing. I think my class. Let's see if this works because certain elements are weirder than others. Let's see. All right, I have saved it, I think. Load it. Let's reload. Here you go. So let's see. I'm not sure if this is gonna work, but let's see. Hide my class. Oh, there you go. Nice. All right, I'll tell you what happened in a second. This is good. Okay, show. There we go. Nice. Okay, so do you guys see what is hiding and what is showing when I click on the buttons?
The column name.
Yeah. And let's go back to our code. And where is it? It is right here, yes. Because that is the first one. Actually, it's like this is the whole table. You guys created a table for this. And then a separate table for the loop here. So that's correct. So it's well, no, it's hiding the whole table. It's just like this is one whole table here, consisting of one row, which is fine. I mean, normally you do the table and then you generate the rows. You know what I mean? Like you could just take this out here and this put here, and then I mean just out here, and then just generate each row in here. But we'll go over that later. Okay, yeah. So did that work? Did it work?
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, I'm targeting what is being what you know, whatever this class, whatever has this class. So anything that has this class is affected by this selector here, the selector that we chose here. Yeah, you could have things with many classes. I mean, like you could have many things with the same class. So that is okay. They're not unique, or no, yeah, usually they're not. Okay. So let's go back. There we go. So selectors. These are the two main selectors that you're going to be using. There are other advanced ones, but for now, this is your bread and butter. There are a lot more, but for now, that is all. Well, that is the main ones that we want. Okay, let me give you, well, let's just say let's just say a couple of selectors here. Um, there is a list of selectors. Okay, so this is the ID selector. We did that one, right? Okay, class selector. Okay, and then these are example of selectors here. Look at that. There's tons of them, and it is up to you to go over them and well, actually, they come with use. Like really, in the real world, it's like, hey man, how do I select all paragraphs? Google it. Oh shit, okay, I put a P. Okay. How do I select the first thing in the paragraph? Oh, okay. How do I select the first LI in the unlisted list, unordered list? Oh, okay, blip. The href.
Good
Yeah.
idea to
Was that?
probably a good idea to look at them just to see like an idea of the path
Oh hell
you
yes.
wanted.
Oh yeah. But I want you, yeah, I want you guys. Oh, this is amazingly um, useful too. This selects all even rows, all the TRs. So if you have a table, it selects only the even rows. This one selects only the odds. So any reason why you would want to do that? Sorry, what?
I'm just saying that sounds strangely specific, but
Oh
I still
God,
don't
no.
understand why you would want to do that. So,
Well,
but you're getting to that.
Well, you're looking at it now. Why would you want to do that? There's a perfect example in this page here. Can you tell me?
Okay.
You guys have 10 seconds. Go. Well, let me give you, yeah, right here. Why would you want the odds or the evens? Excuse me. Mm-hmm. Something in my throat. Okay. I will give you 7 more seconds.
Oh, I wasn't talking.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the rows have different colors.
That's right. God damn it. Yes. Exactly. So what they're doing with this table is grabbing all the odd ones and changing the background. You see that? That is what's happening here. They're using this. So yeah, so let's say if you wanted to make all of them red or blue or anything, but you see this example every day because whenever you see a table and you want to make it easier for the reader, the user, you make it and you stripe them because it's much easier to get. Mm-hmm. So you see how useful this is, right? The even and the odd. Okay. Dave, are you good with that as well?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So and let's say you have a P here. Oh well, you got the star, which means select everything. So if you want to select everything on a page, do this. If you want to select all the paragraphs, do that. This is very important, but we'll get to later. Select all elements in the href with an href attribute, and yeah. So you guys see how powerful this is and how useful it is. Um, I am going to post a couple. Oh, okay, yeah. CSS selectors. Oh, nice one. Yeah, it goes hand in hand with the CSS selectors, which is good. All right, so let me. I'm just gonna give you guys a couple of ones. Okay, so this selects all. I'm just gonna select all. Damn it. Kept the damn, well, I'm just gonna do this. Okay, P means all the paragraphs. Paragraphs, okay. also many selectors. Okay. So just play around with it. Let's go back to our code. And you know what's going to be weird? Well, let's see what happened. Let's play around with it. If I exchange this to an ampersand, what's going to happen? What do you think? Instead of hide class, I'm hiding. I'm having it hide everything when I hit that button. Okay. Well, anybody have any guess? Dave, what do you think is going to happen when I hit it?
What, the ampersand?
Yeah, when I hit this button, hide class, which right now has the asterisk, which means select everything.
It's
And yep.
gonna hide the whole page?
Well, let's see. I don't know. I'm gonna hit it. You guys ready? Hitting it now. Let's see. Oh crap!
Ooh.
It freaking hit everything. That's crazy. You guys know something? What if we want to bring it back to where's the show button?
Whoa.
It hit it, right? Because we had it hide everything, including the button that was supposed to not, show it. I mean, there you go. That is, yeah, show class. Oh! This broke it because
Whoa.
it shows everything. Holy crap. We broke it. Yeah. This one is a little bit more complicated because it's showing, I think, a lot more than what we had here. This is the whole DOM, I think. This shows the HTML for pretty much everything, including the DOM, but all the DOM pretty much. But yeah, we don't want to see that. Nobody got time for that. Hide it. There you go. Very nice, very nice. All right, so you guys got the idea, right? Paragraphs. I wonder, how about tables? Do you think it works with tables? I don't know. Shall we? I'm going to save it. I'm going to refresh it. I remember, this is good. This is good exercise. We got to repeat. Always got to repeat. Always got to do it. Got to become second nature. So right now, I'm trying to select anything with a table. I think we have a table here. This is supposed to be a table here. Let's see. I'm going to hide it. Oh, there you go. All tables are gone. And then I'm going to bring back the tables. Look at that. Oh, bring a table. Yep. Hiding it. Flip. Flip. Okay. So again, once again, I am just targeting certain things here by using the selector. Okay, let's go back to my class. Just for the example here. All right. Here we go. Okay. How comfortable do you guys feel with the selector now?
I'm having a hard time reading the screen though, but I do want to come back to it and make sure I can replicate what you're doing. It's giving me ideas.
Oh no, yeah. Okay, so let me see. Is that better? Can you see my screen better? Or not?
No, not really.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, I think it's just your internet at the moment, maybe. What do you think? Yeah.
Me or you? It's funky.
Yeah, it's weird. Well, Dave, can you see someone?
Yeah.
Is it blurry or my sound okay?
Before it was blurry.
Okay, so whenever that happens, let me know, because I think when that happens, I think it's both. I think when that happens, I need to reshare or something. And I mean, if anything, I could just connect. Oh, wait. Oh, Galaxy Dude, get out of here. I might be running some stuff that was downloading. Hopefully that's better. But yes, I mean, if not, I'll go to my normal connection. All right, let me try to reshare again, and then we shall continue. But it is important that we get at least this here. Um, hmm. So jQuery. Uh, can you guys see my screen okay, or still fuzzy?
I'm
Still
getting a black screen right now. Oh, there it is.
okay. Yeah, let
It's
me.
fuzzy, but it's actually readable. It's better than it was.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think I'm pretty sure it's my connection today. It's bad combo. Okay, so here we go. Selectors. How good? 1 to 10. Are you? How good are you with them now? I mean, to your understanding, at least.
Yeah, probably around a 6. Like I said, I want to spend some time to make sure I can work with it.
Okay. Yeah,
Like
that's
I the concepts, I'm not sure about the antics.
well. Yeah, no, that's what it is. It's just dollar sign, and pretty much most of the time we're gonna be dealing with ID. So it's gonna be dollar sign, uh, not ampersand. What is that thing? The number sign, pound sign, yeah, and then the name of the ID. Yeah, pound sign and the ID name. Okay. So the selector. Here we go. Dave, how are you with the selector? Are you 1 to 10? What's up? Where you at?
Um, fair with practice, I get better. Let's say 6.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, do you guys want to do a couple more practices, or well, let's move on. I mean, you guys got the video also, and again,
For now, this is great. Yeah.
okay, yeah. Remember, get back here and do this right here. Yeah, I think our technical difficulties are a bit. I think our internet or my internet is it's being weird today. Well, yeah, let's continue. Okay. All right. Next step is so let's say we have a selector, so we know what we want to select. So from now on, just for argument's sake, I want to be targeting the roster div that has the div that has the roster ID. Is that clear? So this is a div, and it has the ID of roster. Okay. So this is number 2 in the list is function. Well, function or what you want to do. Okay, pretty straightforward here. So function or what you want to do. Okay. In this case, right? Function method. You guys are familiar with what a method is, right? Of course. All right. Yeah, I think our connection is kind of sucky today. Yeah, so function, method. Now, the cool thing is, you see this selector here? All right. That is, think of it as some kind of class. And let's see what you want to do. Okay. Think of it as some kind of class. I know, just bear with me, just bear with me. Okay. So if I say, if I put a dot, watch, I'm gonna put here. All right, so we have IntelliSense here, which is great. So now, if I put a dot, do you guys see everything that drops on the drop down here? Guess what those are?
No.
That's right. They are methods. And what does methods what do they do? Well, they do stuff, right? They perform certain tasks, or they do so you can do stuff with them. Okay. Not only can you access methods, but also properties. So for now, was that sorry?
Oh, huh.
Yeah. So imagine that this whole thing is sort of like a class. You don't really have to think of it like that, but just know that when you hit this dot here, you can access methods and properties, functions, methods, and properties of whatever you're trying to target or select. Okay, so you're calling those functions on that target. Okay, so now roster, so function, method, properties. What you want to do on target. Selector. All right. So in this case, if we want to hide something, or if we want to hide the ID, anything with the ID roster, what do we do? Is there anything that we used before? Hello? I can't hear you.
I'm having a hard time hearing what you're asking.
Oh, what function can I use to hide things?
That wasn't much better.
Oh, really? Damn. Yeah, connection is really bad today. What the hell? It's really weird. All right, so I'm gonna use the hide. Let's see. Well, I'm just gonna. Yeah, today's connection kind of sucks. Let's see.
Do you hear us? Okay, I know.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
You are. Okay.
Yeah. Right there. Let's see. Yeah, so this function is to hide pretty much. All right. And what does this method do? What do you think it does?
So these are all built in, is what you're saying.
Yep. But they do something though. So they're building functions that we can use.
I mean,
Let me reshare.
one hide and the other one wouldn't.
Yeah, no, I know, but I need you to say it and I need you to repeat it and I need you to kind of go with it. Yeah. I mean, I know the answer to all the questions I'm asking, pretty much, but I need you to kind of to go with the flow. And yeah, just go with the flow. Let's see. But yes. Yeah, so these are methods here or functions that you can use. So again, first part is the selector, and second part is what you want to do or what you want to access. So again, this is this function would hide whatever you select. Okay. I mean, let's explore. Let's explore a little bit. And let's say, I'm just gonna cut and paste here. Right here. And let's see what kind of stuff we have here. We could add class. What do you think the add class function would do? My class, right? Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. That is add class. So this would add the class to anything that has the div, I mean the ID of roster. All right. Let's see. Yeah, so, yeah, I think our connection is a bit off today, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Hide. Let me give you guys. Just copy and paste this here. Hide, show, etc. That is a couple. All right. So far, so good. You guys there?
Yeah.
So far, pretty good.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, sir. I think my connection is pretty bad today. I'll try to do it from my normal. I'll just run a cable here next time. I think. I mean, it's weird because normally our connection is great. It's just today it's a little bit off. Okay. Okay. So far so good. Beautiful. Okay. So remember, what did I say? It's either methods and properties. So hide, show, you use it to hide and to show. Let me ask you a question now. I'm going to give you 15 seconds for you to think about it. I don't, just use your imagination. I'm not asking you. If you don't know, it's fine. But in the back end or the background, what do you think this does?
On the back end, you said?
Well, how do you think it's hiding or making that div disappear? Like somewhere, wherever it does it, how do you think it does it? What is it doing?
Temporarily removing something, put it in a temporary container somewhere.
Something like that. Something like that. Maybe. Depending.
The div is a container.
It is. Yes.
So we're just choosing to display it.
Oh, okay. That's also somewhat right. Both of you are somewhat right and wrong at the same time. But yes, it depending on how it does it. But yeah, you're correct. You're both correct in a way. One thing we need to do, we need to go over CSS, which we haven't done. And I think before we hit this, I think we should have hit CSS at least briefly. I mean, we went over it a while ago, but it's been too long. But yes, in the background, or in the JavaScript, remember you're using jQuery, right? So remember, jQuery is where in our files? Do you remember? Where is it?
Reference, right?
Yep. We have a reference to this file here. You see it in scripts? jQuery 3.31. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, sorry. So I'm going to click on it and see what happens, okay? Okay. So this is jQuery, the library right here. And all a library is just a bunch of functions. You see all these functions? Function. All it is just a bunch of functions. I mean, we've done a bunch of stuff like this, right? I mean, our code is a bunch of functions. Look at that. This is just a function over here, right? Theirs just looks different than ours, but essentially is the same. So, let me see. Okay. Do you guys see this? It says show hide.
Yeah.
So it's a built-in function that hides stuff, and basically what it does is it either displays it or it doesn't. You don't. Yeah, I shouldn't be showing you this, but anyway, it's using CSS to display certain parts or not. That is kind of how it does it. Okay. So again, yeah, I really shouldn't have shown you that, but anyway, yeah, this is a function in. It's a JavaScript function that hides an element. And this one, it's a JavaScript function that shows an element. And in this case, which particular element is going to hide?
The roster.
Yeah, whatever the selector is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, whatever it is. So there we go. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so far so good. And again, this is good because this is good because it helps you think. Remember, we're programmers, we're developers, and we're architects in a way. And looking at it from this point of view, I think it's important. Yes. All right. So methods, properties, and functions. So now let's do something else. Now, another one that I want to know is. Another very important one is, because remember, we're only doing some of the basics for now, is dot value. Oh, yeah. Actually, I think it is. Is it dot value like this? I think it's just dot value. All right. Now, let me ask you a question. What kind of code in HTML usually deals with values, or what is, the values are important to us? What have we dealt with before that is, that meets that criteria?
Forms.
That's right. Yeah, so forms, right? And yeah, we have a form here. And we have a form here, and right now we have a text box. So normally we don't really care about the value of a table row. I mean, we do, but not at least not for now. The value of this row here, or some kind of div, or depending on what it is. But for now, let's say that we care about the value of inputs in a form, because that's what we are used to. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. We can get the value of pretty much anything, but getting the value of certain things is kind of pointless. It's like getting the value of a rock or a table, or instead of the value of, like, hey, what is your name, or value of a question or something that, some kind of inquiry or query or something. Okay, that was kind of like a weird example, but yeah, sorry. Yeah, so whenever we deal with value, most of the time we're going to be dealing with inputs of some sort. Not all the time, don't quote me, but most of the time it's going to be some kind of input. Is that fair? At least for now. Okay, great. Do we have an input on this page? Any kind of inputs, form inputs?
We haven't add a character input, a name.
Well, yeah, we have a name here, right?
And do the drop downs count as well?
Yeah, that's right. Anything. Anything. Well, I don't know. Let's see. Do they?
So the buttons are inputs?
Yeah, the buttons are input too, yes.
Okay.
This is a very, very good example, actually, because you see, this is very good that you brought that up. It's extremely good. So let's say I have the word Tasty Flute here. That is the name of one of my Dungeons and Dragons characters, right? My bard is named Tasty Flute. Bilbido Tasty Flute. And where's the gnome? I mean, you didn't get gnome here? Oh, that hurts.
Yeah, I don't think grabbed
Well, let's go for halfling at least for now. You got to put gnome there. Okay, but anyway. Uh, so there's info here, right, on these. So let's say I wanted to get the value, and because I wanted it and needed to manipulate it somehow, the value of what's in this text box. Is that important? I mean, is that something useful to us, you think? I mean, the value of an input of like whatever the user type in here
Yeah,
for a
we
name.
want them to.
Yeah, it's important, right? It's important information. And whatever the type here. Okay, so, and what about the value of class? Value of class is important to us, right? Whatever they chose, it's important. But what about the value of a button? Of this button in particular, is that important to us? Sometimes it will be, don't get me wrong. But it's static
That
right
it
now.
submits us. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the value for this is just a create character, is the string create character. And we created it and it's static, so it's not really as helpful as these guys here. But yeah, but you could still get the value, don't get me wrong. I really shouldn't have brought that up. Yeah, you could get the value of anything. It just depends on how important it is to you. So the next thing that we're gonna use is value. So guess what we're gonna do? Value gets value. Gets or sets. Say it with me. Gets or what? Sets value of of element. Yep. Okay. By the way, sometimes it's not value, sometimes it's text. Sometimes it's text, depending or on the kind of element you're messing around with. But anyway, let's expand, okay? You see how these buttons we're doing? They're expanding and getting cooler, and we're learning cool stuff with all these buttons, right? See, we're getting all sorts of buttons. So the value is just the label that we want to show. So in here it is text box value. Text box value. And in fact, I'm just going to say show text box value. Here we go. And I'm going to call it show text box value. All right, so what's the name of the function that it's expecting? Show text box value. So right now that function does not exist, and so I'm going to create it. And where do I have to create it? In this section. The script. Yes, exactly. The script section. That's right. Stallions, my friend. Stallions. That's what you guys are.
On a side note,
Yeah.
I have updated roster if you're not interested. Could you possibly give us a copy of the code that you're at it? Because you're doing something more than just using examples. That you've got a formatting.
Where?
Does that make sense?
No, where? Here?
I mean, in this whole page.
Which page? Here?
Go up to.
Where? Here?
Anyway, yeah. We got all.
Well, this is your
stuff
page.
going on here that's,
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna upload this later. Yeah, sure. I mean, was that your question?
Okay. I'm sorry. It's hard to be very clear. We're going back and forth.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, but after class, I'll definitely upload everything that we did today in this class, so you have access to it.
Okay.
Okay, so here we go. Yeah, so here we go. So we got this here, and again, I added the button, and it says show text box value, and I have a function called show text box value. So I want an alert box that gives me the text box, that displays the text box value. So mainly what we have typed in that text box in the input. So, well, give me ideas. Give me ideas. First of all, how can I get, well, where is the text box anyway? Do you guys see it anywhere? What's the name of it? Well, what's the ID of it? Well, how can I check? You guys are pros. Where is it? How can I check what's the ID of this text box here? F12, highlight it. Hey, what is this text box name? And what's the ID? Can you guys see?
Not really.
Oh, crap. God damn it, I'm sorry. Okay, it is name. That's what it is. Man, what's up with my connection today? It sucks. Let me try to reshare again. Stop sharing screen. I'm resharing in a second here.
By redoing the call, perhaps.
Yeah. Let's try redoing the call. Okay. Dropping the call. Dropping it like it's hot. Okay. Flip. Okay, here we go. Let's see. You guys hear me?
Check 1 2 check 1 2.
I can hear you. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right. Dave, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, let's see. Can you guys see?
You have a blank screen.
Oh. You sure?
Now it's good.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, so Dave, can you see?
Yeah, better.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, input ID.
Nice. Oh,
It's clear right now.
nice. Let's take advantage. So whenever that happens, now we know. Let's just restart the call because it could be a bad call or something. Okay, yeah. So what is the input here?
Name.
ID, right? I mean the name there. The ID is name. So I want to handle. So the handle I'm going to be using as a selector is going to be the ID, which is name. Beautiful. So name. Also, you could tell because when you created the text box, you called it name, and that is what is going to set the ID and the name to. See here? You use a helper to create the text box, and that spit out this. Remember that. Yeah. Okay, so I have a function called show text box value. So let's just say I'm going to create. By the way, in JavaScript, you could say var also. Isn't that cool? So let's say name value equals, well, let's call it text box. Text box value equals, so how do I get that value of that text box? Anybody know? You got 10 seconds. What do I need to type there in order to get the value of the input of whatever they typed in that ID text box?
$sign.
That's right. Okay. Dollar sign.
Parenthesis.
Yep.
Dot name.
Yeah, pretty much. But are you referring to an ID or a class?
Oh, hashtag.
That's right, my friend.
Hashtag name.
Name, yeah. And then val. There you go. Actually, the word is val, by the way, not value. Yeah, val is the special um, jQuery. This is kind of like the catch-all. Yeah, this is a function that messes around with values. So it sets and gets values or whatever you're messing around with. It's very powerful. Okay, so val is what we're looking for here. And it's amazing that we have, what do you call that? What is it? A smart test or something like that. What do you call that? IntelliSense, yes. IntelliSense, love it. Okay, so what do I alert here then? Text box value. So remember, jQuery, JavaScript, it's a programming language, and we could use variables, we could call functions, we could put parameters in the functions, we could have assignments, like, hey, I have a variable here, and so basically this is saying, hey, I know that we're doing this like kind of quickly and maybe skipping a couple of things, but we'll get there. So, hey, this selector, which is anything with the ID name, give me the value of that and put it in this text box. And in the next line, I'm saying, hey, use the alert function and output what that is. So if that worked, if we get this to work, what should happen when I press the button show text value, so text box value? Anyone know?
Add Tasty Flute to the roster.
Well, no, not roster. Remember, this is the show.
Pre-add, so we can select them.
No.
No, it'll give you some sort of alert.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you tell me. Okay. Okay.
Alert, yeah.
I will give you 15 seconds to. This is the button, right? And this is the function that it calls. Okay. After 15 seconds, I'm gonna hit it. And then before I hit it, you have to tell me what happens. Right. Well, I'm not doing anything else. Next I'm doing is just hitting it in 10 seconds. Okay. I'm gonna give you 10 seconds to think about it, and then I'm gonna ask you for an answer.
Okay.
All right. That wasn't 10 seconds, but anyway. Dan, do you have an answer?
Gonna come up blank.
Okay. Dave, do you have an answer?
It'll give you the name of a character.
Okay. Well, let's see what's gonna happen here. Blip blank.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Of course, this is kind of built in, right? It would always say this, like this says this because it's part of the pop-up. But whatever's under is what is the actual pop-up. So it's blank. Yeah. Well, no, it's like basically all this is doing is, hey, what all this is doing is just give me the value of whatever's inside the input, or well, whatever's inside and whatever we have that has the ID name. What do we have in this page that has the ID name? The text box.
Name and the character, add a character.
No. Let's go back there. Go back. Okay. Let me ask it again. It should be just one answer, at least for now.
No, I was trying to
Oh.
describe add a new character. It's a text field.
No. This is yeah. Okay, so let's go back again. Sorry. Okay, so I only have one thing here that has the ID name, right? What is it? Dave, what is it?
What the ID name?
Yeah. What is the only thing on this page that has the ID name?
The text box.
Yeah, right? I mean, it's simple. Dan?
That's what I said the first.
Yeah, I know. Again, yes. So, yeah,
Okay.
pretty straightforward. It's just a text box. So this saying, hey, give me the value of whatever this text box is, and put it in the text box. Put it in this variable. What is the value of that? What is the current value of that text box?
It is blank.
Yeah, exactly. So therefore, when I click this, it's blank. All right. So what if I say tasty? What is the current value of that? Well, obviously it's tasty. So let's say I'm going to say show it. Oh, there it is. Tasty. So so basically I'm getting a handle on what this is, and I'm getting the value of whatever this is here. I mean, it's pretty straightforward here, I think. And again, this is a special function called val. And yes. What would I use val for? What is it used for again? Dave, what's val for? What is it?
Val, get the value of a form.
Well, get the value of any element. Yeah. So in this case, we use it on this element here, which is an input name ID. I mean, with the ID name, and currently it has a taste. That's the value of it. Okay. Okay. So what is the other thing I said about val? It gets, but what can it also do?
We use a name.
Well, we could use it to set a value.
Set the name. Yeah.
That's right. So let's say I'm gonna update this. So let's say, hey, instead of getting it, normally if you leave it blank, that means get whatever's in there. But if you provide something to it, say tasty flute. All right, here we go. All right, so right now it's blank. I'm not typing anything. So if I hit this button, what should happen if it works? Dave?
Add tasty fruit to the main text box.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, whoops. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, no, it's I kind of fucked up there. Sorry. It did. Yes. Do you see it?
Yes.
But what else is it doing also?
Oh, it's alerting.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Which we didn't want that. We just wanted to, because it's an object. Like once the value that is returning is an object. So what we wanted to do really was just this. If we do that, blip, it puts it in there. That is pretty powerful, right? Okay. And again, this is some good stuff here. This is very good stuff. Tasty flute here. I need to put this all with the same names one of these days. I mean, the same font. Yeah. Now, let me ask you a question here. If I go back. Okay. How can I pop up the value of the class? Dan, hit me.
So we'd want to change it to. It's not a text box. The class.
What? Well, let's say race. Let's not use the word class. Sorry. Let's say race. I wanna output. Yeah, I know. I wanna I wanna output. I wanna pop up with the current value of this drop down here. I wanna get I wanna get that. So Ray, how do we do that? How do I pop it up when I press this button? Well, it,
Those aren't technically
was
do it,
that?
but when we write our function, we want to select the drop down menu and give it the race uh, tag.
ID, yeah, ID. Remember, yeah, gotta say we gotta use it because that's how elements are. That's how you get the handles of them through the ID or the class most of the time. So now we're using ID. So what? How can I check what the ID of this dropdown is?
F12.
That's right. And let's see. Does this dropdown currently have an ID?
It's not explicit, I don't think.
Nope. Well, it doesn't have one. If you don't see in the HTML,
Read it.
no, it doesn't have one. Oh, let me try resharing. If not, we'll restart. But yeah, no, this one in particular does not have it. So Ray, so I'm gonna look in the drop down in the roster here. Okay, this is the race. You see race? It has name, right? But it does not have ID. I am
In
good.
other words, we need to add that.
Exactly, yes, yes. Or you can use a selector that uses a name.
Okay.
Yeah. But for now, let's just add an ID and let's use that. So in this case, we would say race. And do you think that would work? Let's see.
Does Fox?
It has an ID called race, yes. And let's see what the value is. All right, I'm going to hit the button. Let's see.
Oh, I see. It's just what we named it.
Yeah, just the race here. All right, there it is. Eladrin. So if I change this to Dragonborn, Dragonborn. Change to Halfling, Halfling. So you can see how. Well, can you start to see how I'm getting a hold of a handle on objects or elements on the page and manipulating them and getting their value, setting their value, hiding them, and doing all sorts of cool stuff with them. Do you guys see that? So, and pretty much that is how modern day pages work, really. It's a combination of back end technology and front end technology. Because a lot of the stuff that we do in the back end doesn't really affect the front end, right? We really can't do anything unless we reload the whole page, right? Like when we hit contact, we are going all the way back to the server and redrawing the whole thing, right? But that can get pretty crazy, and you don't want to, for every action that you do, you don't want to go back to the server. Like, what if you just want to hide this here, this section here? You don't need to go back to the servers to hide this section, do you? I mean, you don't want to.
It's just on the display.
Yeah. I mean, in order to mimic that behavior, you would have to go back to the server, reload, basically redraw this page, and just not render this table here, which is kind of dumb, when you could just hide it by using JavaScript.
Yeah, if we had all kinds of fancy pictures and stuff on that,
Oh yeah,
Flash file or something, that we
it would be huge, and it would be very slow.
but they would have to basically refresh the whole page and stop what they're doing.
And people don't like that because it's slow and it takes a lot of bandwidth. So now this is a very good point here that we have come up to, in that you guys are starting to appreciate or starting to understand the need for JavaScript and the need to lower the footprint of traffic, right? So you want to try to be as slim and use as, you know, the least amount of bandwidth possible. Because imagine, well, not imagine, this is how we do. You pay for every image, every character that goes through the pipes, goes through, that you send over the internet, you pay money. So do you guys like paying a lot of money or a little money? Which one? Exactly. It's like that commercial. It's like, hey, you don't like money? It's like, no, I don't like money. But yes. So this technology helps you lower your bandwidth footprint. You lower your bandwidth, your internet footprint here, because you do as much as you can on the front end. And if there's anything that you do in the back end, you either reload the whole page if it's absolutely necessary, or you use JavaScript and jQuery just to get the information that you want. In this case, we don't need any information from the server. All we're doing is just hiding, manipulating, doing things. But what if there was, let's say, whenever I change this, right, to NPC, what if there were different options to races if you are an NPC than if you were a PC?
You could have a whole different
different
pop up as soon
yeah,
as we select that.
exactly. So, but in the background, logically, right, the flow would be, I switch this, I go back to this, well, there's different ones, right? I go back to the server to get the races associated with the NPC, right? And then I load them here. Am I getting the whole page to do this? Do I need to get the whole page to do this?
Oh, I see what you're saying. No, not necessarily.
No, I just need to get a few names, like dragons or whatever races that NPCs cannot be. But the important thing here, the lesson here, is that I can go back and just get a subset of the page or different information from the server and just load it here on this page and use it on this page. And of course, I could just hide, you know, like, oh, another thing is, like, let's say when I choose NPC, on that event, when the value of this changes, I hide this particular drop down, and I show another drop down with different options. But those drop downs, I mean, those drop down options would also be here, but they would be hidden. Watch this. I'm just gonna get, this is just a quick example. Sorry. Race 2, ID race 2, Dragonborn 2. I'm just gonna add a 2 to some of these, right? Just use your imagination. Actually, I'm just gonna say God or something. I don't know. God. Yeah, like some God, wyverns, malrogs, whatever. You know, good stuff here. Okay, but also, don't get too hung up on this, right? But display That is called CSS, by the way, in styling. We will get over this. We'll do it soon. Okay. I am gonna use this exact same button that we had before because I'm lazy. All right, and I'm just gonna hijack this thing here. Don't worry about it, boys. Don't get confused. Race2 dot show. Don't you worry about it. Okay. I deleted what was there, and all I'm doing is just displaying anything that has the ID race2 if it's hidden. Okay. It might not work, but we'll see. All right, so I got my thing here. We're good here. I got my Dragonborn. I got all my stuff over here. Okay. So I have this thing here, and I'm going to hit it and see if anything happens here. Oh, you guys see it? So I have this other drop down here, right? And I set this so when the page loads, it doesn't display. This means do not display. And when I press this button, it means display. But I mean, I still left this one to be seen. So how do I hide this one if I'm trying to show this one? And how would I hide it? Go ahead. Any ideas? How do I hide that drop
What are
down?
we trying to hide?
Dragonborn.
Dollar sign, quotation mark, hashtag race2, quotation mark, parenthesis, hide, parenthesis.
Well, somewhat all right. Yes, you are correct, sir. But what we're trying to hide is this one.
Race2.
Yeah, no, just race. Because
This race?
well, this is the main one. I'm trying to,
Oh,
yeah, I'm trying to show race2 and hide race 1.
dang.
Yeah. No, you're correct. You're correct. It's just a little confusing. No worries. Okay. So yeah. So when I press this, right? Let's see what happens. Blip.
Oh,
You guys see it? And if you do it right, you can even. It just happens automatically. You see, it's just like blip. Let's see. I'm gonna do it again. Here we go. Blip. Look at that. It just changed automatically. Like, let's say, okay, one last one, sorry. One last one, let's just call it 2. Blip, blip. And let's just do this, and let's do the reverse. Race2 show, and I mean race show and race2 hide. All right, so this one hides it. This one brings it back. You guys see that? Pretty sweet. And you could tie these functions to anything. For example, when it drops down, when you hover over anything. So when this changes. So you could do a lot of cool things with this, right? It's pretty nice. But yes, so you guys are getting the hang of how to get the value, how to get targets, how to select things, and how to change how to change it and get it. Does that make sense? Are you guys good with this somewhat? And how you can affect change to it? Okay, it is very powerful. It's sickeningly powerful. It's jQuery. It's very, very strong, very powerful, and everybody uses it. So remember, what I want to get away with. How do you guys feel about the selector now? Selector feel better about it slightly?
yeah.
Maybe a 7? Can I get a 7? All right. Yeah, sorry, the connection today is pretty awful. I think it's my internet. Um, Hopefully it'll be better next time, but I'll get a cable or something. Um, yeah, so selector and then function or property that you want to address. There are a bunch of properties like length, size, and all sorts of cool things. Uh, yes. All right. So I think we're gonna stop here today. We actually took it a bit long, and this is good though. This is good. This is very important. Okay. So how do you feel about jQuery a little bit? Do you guys getting the hang of it? Getting put a finger on it? Yes. And can you start to respect how powerful jQuery is and how useful it is? Because normally, if you had to do this with JavaScript, it would be a pain in the ass and it was very difficult. I mean, the selectors at least. I mean, we are using JavaScript. We're just using jQuery and mixing it with JavaScript. Like if you had to do math or some kind of assignment and all sorts of, it would be JavaScript. But mixing it is the best. Okay. I am going to upload this code in this video later on. But yeah, I think we're gonna end it there now. And yeah, because I gotta do some work. Gotta go over some stuff. Maybe a little resume action with Dan. But we are done for today. Dave, your job.
Yes.
Are you ready? Your task
Sure.
is to create your own controller.
Create my own controller.
Yeah, create your own controller. Call it David. Yeah, instead of home, call it David. So it'll be like /David. So it's gonna be sweet. And move your actions, like your roster, over to your controller. So from now on, all the work we're gonna divide it. We're gonna have you, if we have assignments and stuff like that, your stuff is gonna be on your controller, and Dan's stuff is gonna be on his controller. That way we can keep them separated. And then the main page is gonna have a link for your stuff and Dan's stuff as well. Do not forget to create an index page for your controller. That way it's a landing page. Say, hey, this is David's page, and here is some stuff, and then you can have some links if you want.
Okay.
So you're gonna be building. This is the start of building the portfolio. All right. This is where the money is. Yeah.
You have some questions about navigating when there is more than one and you're not on the floor.
Navigating what?
Like, I've tried doing that before and I had a hard use to interact and figuring out what controller to even go to when we.
Oh, well, I mean, do you want to go over that now, or I mean, what's the question? I mean, right now we only have one controller, so it's not. Yeah.
Okay, I think it'd be better, but maybe Ellie, she's trying to get that to work, because I certainly did. I'm not sure.
All right. Well, I mean, we'll see. Okay, so Dave, work on that. Move everything to your. Well, so for now, just work on your controller, moving everything to your controller, and we will work, and I will work on the middle page. Okay. I mean, on the main page, and put links to your controller's page index. So your controller is going to be called David, and Dan's is going to be called Dan's. All right, I'm going to stop recording for now. Let's see.